Every time you watch LeBron James dominate the court, every time you see him lift trophies, break records, and silence entire arenas, there's something you don't see, something he never talks about, something the world rarely understands. Because behind the smile, behind the highlights, and behind the nickname King James, there's a man who paid a price that most fans will never imagine. Before the world crowned him a legend, LeBron was just a kid trying to survive a life filled with chaos, pressure, and expectations no teenager should ever face. But the moment he picked up basketball, his world changed, and so did his responsibilities. Suddenly, he wasn't playing for fun. He was playing for a future that depended on him. A future for himself, for his family, and eventually an entire generation of fans. But greatness never comes for free. And LeBron's path to becoming the face of the NBA demanded a sacrifice far bigger than fame, money, or championships. This is the part of his story people never saw. The sacrifice hidden behind the spotlight. The sacrifice that made him a king, before LeBron James became a global superstar before the bright lights. The sold-out arenas and the billions watching worldwide. There was a young boy from Akron fighting battles no child should ever face. LeBron grew up in a world where stability did not exist. His mother, Gloria James, did everything she could to keep their small family together. But life was unpredictable. One month they had a roof over their head. The next month they were forced to move again. In a single year, LeBron changed schools multiple times, each move breaking his confidence a little more. He wasn't thinking about fame, championships, or the NBA. His only goal was survival. And yet deep inside, there was something different about him. Something powerful. A natural fire. A hunger to rise above his circumstances. But even then, at just 9 years old, LeBron had to grow up faster than any kid around him. No toys, no vacations, no normal childhood experiences. His world was shaped by struggle, uncertainty, and a constant search for direction. Then came basketball, the one thing that brought stability into his life. The moment he touched the ball, everything began to change. Coaches saw something in him that no one had ever seen in a kid his age: discipline, leadership, and a mind wired for greatness. But with talent came responsibility, and with responsibility came pressure. Coaches started relying on him. Teams started depending on him. And slowly, LeBron realized he wasn't just playing for himself anymore. Basketball wasn't just a sport for LeBron. It was his escape, his hope, and his only path toward a better life. But what he didn't know was that this path would demand more from him than anyone could imagine at just 17 years old. LeBron James experienced something almost impossible for a teenager to handle. The world labeled him the chosen one, not his friends. Not his coaches, not the people in Akron, but the global media, the NBA world, and the entire country. One Sports Illustrated cover changed everything. In a single moment, LeBron went from a high school kid to a national headline. Suddenly, every move he made, every game he played, every mistake could possibly commit was under a spotlight brighter than anything he was ready for. Most kids his age worried about exams, friendships, and weekend plans. LeBron worried about living up to a prophecy written for him by strangers. He was expected to become the next Michael Jordan, the next face of basketball, the next superstar to carry the league. And that pressure, it wasn't seasonal. It was daily. Every gym he walked into was packed. Every reporter wanted answers. Every critic waited for him to fail. LeBron didn't just carry expectations. He carried fear, the fear of disappointing his mother, disappointing Akron, disappointing a world that believed he was destined for greatness. The price of that pressure was enormous. He couldn't be a normal teenager. No parties. No room for distractions. Even the smallest slip-up would be broadcast across the nation. And yet he kept going, with every game. The weight on his shoulders grew heavier. With every success, the expectations doubled. With every failure, the criticism became louder. But LeBron learned early. Greatness requires sacrifice. It demands control, discipline, and emotional strength beyond your years. He didn't choose the title, the chosen one. But once the world handed it to him, he carried it with the responsibility of a grown man, trapped in a teenager's body. This was the beginning of a journey where pressure became normal and sacrifice became his second nature. When fans think of LeBron James, they see the championships, the glory, the fame, the highlight reels, but they never see the cost behind it all. Because LeBron's greatest sacrifice was never money, popularity, or trophies. It was his life outside basketball. From the moment he was crowned the chosen one, LeBron's life stopped being his own. He gave up something priceless, a normal life. While other teenagers laughed with friends, went to parties, or enjoyed late-night freedom, LeBron was running drills, studying plays, and preparing for the weight of expectations that no teenager should carry. His childhood didn't just end early, it disappeared. As he got older, the sacrifices became even deeper. LeBron missed holidays, birthdays, and countless moments with his family. Every season demanded absolute focus, strict diets, grueling training, endless travel, and constant media pressure. He sacrificed privacy. Everywhere he went, cameras followed. Every comment he made became a headline. Every decision sparked controversy. He couldn't slip, he couldn't breathe, couldn't live without the world watching. And then there was the physical sacrifice playing through pain, injuries, exhaustion. Nights when his body begged him to stop, but the world expected him to keep going. Greatness demanded consistency. Consistency demanded suffering. Most fans never see the hours in empty gyms, the ice baths, the sleepless nights, the doubts he hides behind his confidence. They never see the emotional toll of carrying a franchise, a city, and sometimes the entire NBA on his shoulders. LeBron didn't just sacrifice his time or his comfort, he sacrificed the chance to live life like a normal human being. This was the price he paid to become a legend, a price most people could never handle. Every great story has a moment that changes everything, and for LeBron James, that moment came in 2010. After carrying Cleveland on his back for 7 exhausting years, he faced a decision that would define his legacy forever. The pressure was unbelievable. Fans wanted loyalty. Critics demanded a championship. LeBron wanted growth, but the world wanted control over his destiny. Then came the decision. A move that shocked the basketball world and turned millions of fans against him overnight. The same people who once praised him now burned his jerseys. Talk shows attacked him. Headlines mocked him. Social media drowned him in hate. It felt like the weight of the entire planet had crashed down on his shoulders. But this moment of darkness became the turning point. LeBron never expected. Joining Miami wasn't running away, it was sacrifice all over again. He left his hometown, walked into a media storm, and stepped into a locker room where winning was the only option. Suddenly, every game was a test. Every loss felt like proof for his critics. But LeBron didn't crumble. He transformed in Miami. He learned discipline on a deeper level. He built his body, strengthened his mind, and embraced leadership with new intensity. The pressure that once threatened to break him became the fuel that pushed him into a different level of greatness. And when he finally won his first championship, it wasn't just a victory, it was a rebirth. The hate forged him. The pressure refined him. The sacrifice shaped him. This turning point didn't just change LeBron's career, it changed the course of NBA history. LeBron James' story isn't just about success, it's about the silent battles that shaped his legacy. After Miami, LeBron returned to Cleveland, carrying not just the hopes of a city, but the weight of redemption. He knew what it meant to fail, to be hated, to be doubted, and he knew what it meant to rise again. His decision to go back wasn't just basketball, it was personal. He wanted to bring a championship to the city that raised him. Even if it meant risking his reputation all over again, in 2016, he delivered the impossible, a title for Cleveland. But behind that victory were sleepless nights, pressure-filled practices, and a determination fueled by years of sacrifice. And even after proving himself again, LeBron didn't stop. He moved to Los Angeles, took on new expectations, new criticism, and new challenges. Winning there demanded rebuilding patience and leadership at a level only a few athletes in history could understand. Today, his legacy stands as more than rings, MVPs, or milestones. It's the story of longevity of a man who stayed at the top for over 20 years through discipline, sacrifice, and unbreakable mental strength. Fans see the king, but only a few understand the cost of wearing the crown. LeBron's greatness wasn't handed to him. It was earned through pain, pressure, and a lifetime of sacrifice. LeBron James' journey proves one thing: greatness is never free. For every roar of the crowd, there were nights of silence. For every victory, there were sacrifices no camera could capture. He gave up childhood, privacy, time with family, and pieces of himself that he can never get back, all to build a legacy strong enough to inspire millions. His story is bigger than basketball. It's a reminder that success demands a price most people will never see. Behind the highlight reels is a man who chose discipline over comfort, pressure over peace, and responsibility.